Many young people are thinking about a job in tourism as something romantic and relaxing. But in reality, the range of jobs in tourism is rather wide, from unskilled, like a dishwasher in a restaurant, to semi-skilled, like a chambermaid or a waiter, to skilled, like a tour operator or a travel agent. In addition, tourism generates jobs in manufacturing, construction, and merchandising. But a majority of the jobs in tourism have one common feature. You need to communicate with people, so it includes both negative and positive aspects of communicating with ordinary human beings. Besides, there are some other specific features of jobs in tourism. In this video, we'll talk about the typical features and facts about the tourism labor market. The travel and tourism sector accounts for 1 in 10 jobs on the planet and is one of the largest employers in the world. In employment growth terms, the travel and tourism industry already outperforms a number of other industries, including the education, financial services, and healthcare sectors, although it is less labor-intensive than agriculture. Thus, the tourism sector is estimated to generate more than 330 million jobs, directly as well as indirectly, which represent approximately from 10% of the global workforce. It is counted that for every 30 new tourists to a destination, 1 new job is created. Most of the new jobs in developing countries are created by the tourism sector. 1 job in tourism creates approximately 1.5 jobs in tourism-related economies. But we need to understand that the magnitude of the employment effects of tourism depends upon the magnitude of tourism spending. So we have proved that travel and tourism sector is one of the largest employers in the world. But certainly, tourism labor has some specific features. First of all, it is strongly influenced by the seasonality. It is characterized by a high share of semi-skilled jobs. At the same time, it provides opportunities for high-quality employment. And employment in tourism is characterized by high turnover. And it has difficulties with attracting top talent. So, let's go in details about these specific features of the tourism labor market. Seasonality is the most common characteristic of tourism market worldwide. As a result, workers in tourism are employed on the basis of part-time, seasonal and occasional contracts. A large number of enterprises employ only a core group of full-time and permanent staff and employ additional staff only upon necessity. Flexible employment is very nice for young people who are studying or who want to move on to the other sector, and for female workers with children. Migrant workers are a group with a disproportionately high number employed in the lower paid, less stable segment of the tourism industry. This is the result of the bad knowledge of the language and of the host culture. Tourism employs a highly vulnerable, unskilled and semi-skilled workforce. This creates some challenges, such as temporary work contracts, irregular working hours, the lack of career progression, and the low level of unionization in the tourism sector. The perception that the tourism sector offers mostly low-skilled jobs is challenged by the fact that around 30% are supervisory or skilled occupations at managerial, technical, or professional levels. Tourism may not only create jobs, but has a tendency to create good jobs with healthier, more safe, and more pleasant working conditions. Service jobs in Hotels, for instance, are relatively well paid, especially when are supported by tips and service charge. Nevertheless, tourism labor market has a high turnover. But the turnover rate for managerial levels is lower than for line employees. Employers and employees have different reasons for a high frequency of turnover. Employers state that turnover should be attributed to the unsteady employment of students, young mothers, and young people as a whole. Employees mention low pay as a reason for changing employment, and also a lack of career perspectives and other benefits are mentioned. Yet, the industry has difficulties in attracting top talent, both for managerial and technical positions. The reasons are the lack of career attractiveness, competition from the other sectors, and adequate training, education, and practice. Research has estimated that talent gaps in the industry could cost the global economy nearly 14 million jobs and $610 billion in GDP. So, it has turned to be a number of problems which need to be solved. But how? To address challenges, the private sector needs to cooperate closely with the public sector to update university and training programs to ensure they keep up with market needs and technological innovations. To take full advantage of tourism's capacity to create jobs, we must invest in tourism education and tourism training. We must also build public policies that stimulate job creation and include micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in the tourism value chain. Technology and innovation can make a large contribution to a job creation. Today, the tourism sector is still suffering from a gap between education and skills and knowledge needs. The resulting shortage of labor with future-proof skills continue to harm job creation process. This gap can be bridged by policies that support more opportunities for appropriate industry experience, such as internships or scholarships, along with education and training. So today we've learned that tourism is characterized by a high intensity of tourism labor market. It has a high potential for job creation. There are some specific features and challenges of the tourism labor market. What can be done in order to deal with these challenges of the tourism labor market?